Guys, hope you're doing great. I am going to get in this place where you guys can kind of see me, see kind of what I'm doing. So we're just going to let this guitar kind of go a little bit. And this is the third session for lead guitar, and I'm going to show you guys some things on top of what I've already showed you. So all these lessons kind of build on each other to help you kind of learn a little more. So we've kind of been working with 6 notes, and the 6 notes, basically we're learning patterns within those notes. And so I gave you kind of a little bit of how this would work. But when you play just 6 notes, 3 on one string, 3 on the next, and it doesn't matter even any pattern you can try. You can even go. You can play the octave of that, which sounds kind of cool, huh? So we've heard that sound before on songs. So that's kind of cool. That's just playing 8 in a row, 3 in a row. So we've been doing more patterns of kind of a traditional major pattern, and then we've done a traditional minor pattern. And then we've just worked with the octaves of those. So that's how we've done it. And so what we're going to do today is kind of work in the same vein, but I'm going to show you another little trick of the trade. So, and that is you can start working on string skipping at some point. And so string skipping is kind of cool in that what you're doing is you're taking these patterns and that you normally do not skip a string in because they're played usually within a scale. And then what you're doing is you're starting to skip strings and when you're doing the octaves. So it would look like this. So hopefully you saw that. So all I'm doing is one. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of got a different sound to it, but it's kind of neat, right? So I'll take the major pattern of 6. So you see how that kind of works? It's kind of cool like that, huh? So all I'm doing is taking this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm just taking the octaves, and I'm just now starting to skip a string and go straight to the octave. So instead of playing, I'm just going right to this one after this. So that's kind of how that goes, but it's kind of cool. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a technique I haven't done much of in the last 25 years, but it's kind of cool, So you can see how cool that is. It's kind of neat too, huh? if you just play free. So it's kind of got a neat kind of sound to it. You know, and it's something that you just kind of mess around with. Now, instead of doing 6 like patterns of 6, say you just wanted to do 2, and what I mean by that is, say instead of going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can go. So you can do it like that. All I'm using is octaves, so I'm still just messing around with octaves. That's all I'm doing. So, and then I'll take, instead of doing a whole step, I'm going to do the full length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this sounds kind of familiar because we've all heard stuff like that. Right? You've all kind of heard that before on some kind of album that Eddie probably Van Halen did years ago that blew our brains when we were kids. But he's just using that pattern. So you can play the octaves of this. See how I skip strings there and making it sound a little different, right? So you can play the, and when you're playing that, you can now just go to the little 2 pattern. You can see how that kind of works. It's kind of cool. So you can see how kind of just working with these patterns, you can really play around, you know. So you can really mess around with these patterns, and you can do them down here too again. So that's kind of cool. I hope you guys like that. It sounds kind of neat, huh? I kind of like that sound. It sounds a little Eric Johnson-y to me. So I hope you get that kind of idea down. Now, hopefully you're working a little bit too on just the patterns that you can change up with your picking on the scales. Like if we're just doing the 6 again, remember we went over 1, that kind of thing, and then we went over, and then we we went over the 3. So hopefully you're getting that down and you're working with that a little bit. Okay, because we want to work that, we want to get that thing going, so what we develop is we're going to develop. Not bad for not doing it in 25 years or so, really practicing those things, but you get the idea. So, and then you just do it in different patterns. So all I'm doing is messing around with the octaves, really, and then it sounds kind of cool, you know, just changing up patterns. So those different patterns. So that's kind of what we're doing. Now, when it comes to like working with the arpeggios, like we did last time, we did. That's what we worked on. Just a major arpeggio. Try to work on your fat, getting close to this bridge. So my boys liked arpeggios, they sound so cool. But you're working on that sweep. Sweep, right? A sweep. Now in classical music, we would just go like this. We would actually just play it with our fingers. But in electric guitar, you kind of sweep it. Hammer on. Remember, it's just this chord. And I upstroke that last one, pull off, and then come back. And that's because I like the sound. I like the sound of that ascending high note. Bee! But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys work with this a little bit and then run into what's called, and you don't really need to know this, but it's the relative minor of that major arpeggio. So we're in E major. So in E major, it's going to be a C sharp minor that we're gonna rock on the way back. So check this out. This is gonna be cool. So we'll go. So this is the C sharp. Looks like that of a chord. So all we're doing is going. So check this out. So it's that first arpeggio we worked on. But we're coming back, ending on that C sharp. Right there. Now the reason why is because I want you to work on this pattern. Because it's a popular pattern, and it's one that we can do a lot of stuff with. It reminds me a little bit of that Megadeth sound, you know? You kind of that. It sounds like it's spooky. It's going down this chromatic kind of minor-ish sound. It's really crazy. But anyway, but if you can just. So you're going up, coming back. And then what's going to happen is we're going to work on this C sharp minor, just on the lower parts of it. And so you see these patterns, they have a top part and a lower part. So you can see that's the top part. Now the bottom part. Now the reason why that's cool is because it's in a lot of tunes. Doesn't that sound like something? It's definitely like a Metallica riff or something like that for sure. But you can kind of get that sound, but it's from this bottom, the high part of the arpeggio. So you can do this with any arpeggio that you're working with. You can do it, say with this one. So you can do it with that. So you can do it. If you can see, you can see now that there's a top part of the arpeggio, there's a bottom part of the arpeggio, and you can manipulate both of those. So if you can learn the arpeggio, then you can play the top, or you can play the bottom. Okay, so hopefully you get some of that and you understand a little bit of that. So that arpeggio. And hopefully that helps you out too when you're soloing. It kind of makes you go into a same key, but it's a relative key, but it kind of mixes up your playing a little bit, makes it kind of cool. So hopefully you get some cool stuff out of this and enjoy your playing a lot and just have fun with it. Guitar is super fun. Super, just a blast to play. So here's a little tune. Hopefully you dug that a little bit, and we'll talk to you guys next time.